So Tasha has this game by the balls right now. Holy moly. And since Tasha is Newman, I figured it's only appropriate that I happen to be wearing some Thunder swag. You know, here we go. Here we go. Looking like Hoodie Mellow right now. But yeah, Newman is a big OKC Thunder fan, and especially of Russell Westbrook, so, you know, figure it's appropriate. So let's talk game here, because wow. So Tasha is definitely the central figure in Okinawa right now, and it's been kind of leading that way. I mean, with Philip out of the picture now, Tasha is now our main narrator. And it's funny because, you know, I use character, it's Tasha is Newman, and I may say she, sometimes I may say he, but that's who we're talking about. So Tasha, her storyline has been picking up, because for a lot of the season I've seen her as kind of middle ground, which is appropriate because one of the things that Newman does the best is playing the middle so well for so long and getting away with it, because, you know, in our final 7 vote, sitting right there in the middle on both sides, absolutely believed 100% Tasha is with us. So the reckoning, as he called it in his confessional, was such a pivotal moment and definitely kept me guessing, which was fun. I'm telling you, that went back and forth so many times this past round. Sierra, Eric, and Francesca have no idea how close they were to being on the short end of things. And I really wasn't sure what Newman was actually gonna eventually decide. It was intriguing the crap out of me, because one of the first things that Tasha had mentioned is that she wanted to self-vote at Final 7. I know, right? But, you know, there is a method to the madness in it. What she was thinking about doing was just letting the time run out, taking the self-vote, so it would go 3-3-1, with Tasha being the stray vote. And obviously immunity would factor in as to who could be voted for, but it would likely be a tie between Francesca and Philip, with Tasha as the rogue vote. And she was wanting to do this, first of all, to just kind of shine a light on the game scenarios, show people exactly where things break, which is risky because, man alive, does that put the spotlight on you. I actually was thinking it was still leaning towards Philip not going. Back and forth, and I had played it out, you know, ahead of time, like what the scenarios were, as far as what I thought might have been best, and I don't even know. I seriously don't even know at this point, because I have such a hard time seeing Tasha able to get to the end. I've played it out every way I can even imagine, and I just don't know. Because Tasha wins this game hands down in a Final 2, period. Take it to the bank, stop it. Nobody's going to beat Tasha at the end, which is why it would be so incredibly hard to make it to the end. That's what I'm trying to figure out, is there still a way that she can get to the end? And I seriously don't know. That's the crazy thing about this season, and trying to figure out what's going to be our end result. The way things have been leading for a while, and this was going back, I don't know, 3 rounds? 4 rounds? 3? I don't know, but it's been leading this way for a while, of a Final 4 being Sierra, Eric, Francesca, and Tasha. And if that's locked in the bag, then Sierra wins this game. Jess would become a 3-time winner. Like, seriously. And I seriously do think that is the most likely outcome from here. And I don't see a whole lot of way around it unless a tie is forced here at Final 6 and they go to rocks. And I think for those who have played before, you probably know my thoughts about deadlocks and rock draws and how ridiculous I think it is to have people throw their game away on chance because of what is more often the case, absolute, complete survivor stubbornness. And the inability to reach across. That people just... That's one reason I didn't want tribal lines in this season. Because when we have those tribal lines, and if people can't effectively reach across and get anything going with the other side, they get to the point where they just think, well, the only thing we can do is a rock draw. You know, hello, return to the Amazon. But here's what I actually realized last night, and I was shocking myself for even looking at it this way, because I was like, oh my gosh, Tasha's best move could be to force a tie? Am I literally saying that out loud? Because I've never been a fan of deadlocking it, especially now that we've played out all the tiebreaker scenarios to where everybody knows it just always goes to rocks now. There's no pass votes, there's no tiebreaker challenge, there's no, what happens, what if, what's it going to be, oh, let's tie it and deadlock it and see what happens. No, they straight up know, the game starts, it's like, it's in your voting booth, boom, rock draw, stop it, nothing else. The thing is, if you know 100%, and nobody knows anything 100%, that's why these games are so fascinating, but if somebody were to know that if they end up in a Final Four scenario, that they are 100% going out at F4, then holy crap, you better force that tie at 6. You better force that tie at 6. Because, well, so much of these games depends on what has happened in the past. Because obviously people play it differently based on how things have gone for them. Or whether they've won a game before and maybe they're playing a little differently, a little freer because they're not viewing things so rigid, like, oh my gosh, I have to win, what if I have to, it's like, once people have a win under their belt, they usually play a little less rigid, they may do things that they definitely wouldn't have done in their first season, or they definitely wouldn't have done before they had won a game, and it's so interesting that here we are at Final 6, and 4 of these cats have won a Bropes game, and one of them, Sierra Jess, is our only 2-time winner. And I've thought for quite a while, even before the game began, I thought, it's less likely that she's gonna win again. I mean, what are the odds of that? So I've been viewing things like the storyline of, is Sierra going to at least make it to the point of getting to Final 3 and doing Fallen Comrades, because she's never been in a season where she didn't get to do Fallen Comrades. Now, there was All-Stars 2, which the final Tribal Council was a Final 3, so Fallen Comrades took place at Final 4. I really think she's going to win her 3rd Bropes game. There seem to be few ways around that, and obviously I'm not talking about any of this as if like, oh, I don't want that to happen, or that would be terrible. Just the game's the game, and what happens, happens. But obviously, Jess, I love you, and you've stated in your own confessional and in videos and whatnot that it's getting ridiculous at this point. She's a damn good player, and y'all need to fear her because, wow, she's the Sandra Diaz-Twine of the Bropes world, and she's maybe about to surpass that and be... Well, there isn't even a term for it, but a 3-time winner. There's nobody to compare that to. But if Tasha were to fully realize that she is the biggest target in this game, would she force a tie at 6? don't know. So many factors to think about. And the other crazy thing is, they obviously know if they have to. I mean, if they've even slightly paid attention to what the samurai moderator character has been posting round by round for the past several rounds in Japanese text that they can Google Translate and see that the message is final now, and it reads, "There is no safety after 5 people remain." So it should not be a big surprise when my ninja mysterious character appears again at the Final Four to announce that's it. There's no challenge from here. There's no immunity from here. It's just get to the end and survive. Forcing a tie at 6. Dun dun dun. I think Tasha is the type of player that would do it. I'm driving myself crazy with all these scenarios. I'm trying to put myself in Tasha's shoes and think about what is best for her. Okay, so I now just read an update in Tasha's Confessional talking about how Sierra has stated that she won't go to rocks. That might be the key right there to force the tie. If Tasha can force a tie with Jeremy and Yule, we go 3-3. Sierra would flip on the revote. Sierra oh, is that the key? Eric, he ain't going to rocks. Forget it, sister. He ain't going to rocks. He went out. He's the only person that's ever gone out on a rock draw. He's not doing that again, especially when he's this close to the end and has a pretty darn clear path to Final 2 no matter which way you slice it. And more than likely being the runner-up of this game. They could get Francesca out. Francesca is such a critical chess piece here. Ooh. Because if they tie it, I think they'd be tying it between Francesca and whichever one of Jeremy and Yule does not win immunity. One or both of Sierra and Eric would flip on the revote. But wow, they could get Francesca out if they force the tie. But Yule, man, Yule has been losing his cool because he's found out he's not in control. If he doesn't keep his cool, there's no chance of a rock draw. Yeah. There's more scenarios to play out than I had even thought, which is going to make this video like way longer than I thought. But the more I think of it, Tasha is stymied at every turn. Every single thing I'm thinking about still doesn't likely get Tasha into one of those final 2 seats. That's the thing that's killing me, is I keep trying to put myself in her head and think, how could you possibly get to the end now? Because a win for Tasha is in the bag if she can get there. Even with a rock draw, I don't think that lands Tasha at Final 2. I can't come up with any scenario where wow. What a crazy endgame. I mean, Alright, before I drive myself any crazier playing this out and make this video any longer than it already is, I think I'll just wrap it up here and just say thunder up. Because we play, who do we play? I think we play the Lakers tomorrow. And it's on ABC, so yay, I can actually watch that in the comfort of my own home, which doesn't happen very often since, yeah, I don't have cable, so. But yeah, I think I'll just end this by saying thunder up.